musicians who said, "He's giving my manifesto." With glee and joy, I remember your eyes. Yeah. What would you think if you look back? How right were you?
Well, I mean, it's there's a lot of stuff that I wrote about that came true, and I'm not right on all kinds of on everything that happened, but a lot of stuff did come true. I mean, one of the things that was sort of the centerpiece of it was that the economics of software were changing, and the fact that minutes prices would essentially go to zero. And we've got Chris E from Skype in the room, and those guys have done a pretty good job of making minute prices go to zero for lots and lots of things. The largest carrier long distance minutes in the world, and that's largely on the basis of the fact that the voice carriage is inexpensive. So that was one of the things that was very clear, and I think a lot of us use those things, and a lot of us are relying on minute economics at this point for our businesses are suffering as a result of this. We start to look for new kinds of businesses you can be in. And that was a big part of what the Voice 2.0 manifesto was about, was that the stack reversed itself. If minutes were no longer the commodity that you could charge on, then what would you charge on? You would charge on the basis of applications and the value add. And I think we see a lot of that going on in the marketplace today. Just yesterday, Irv Shapiro was asked on a panel. He's the guy who's the president of ITEXPO about these kinds of things. And he said, well, I can charge $20 a phone call if I can deliver a targeted phone call to my customer. And that's the kind of economics that matter here. Another thing that we talked about was how the user experience itself would become very, very customer-centric. So even 5 years ago, trying to produce a customized user experience for yourself and use a user experience that was something that was all about you in the telco space was very, very difficult. And yet here we are today with tools like the iPhone, which seems to be infinitely customizable. Software services like Skype that let you add on all kinds of different things, and carriers that are readily letting you experience all sorts of things on their networks that they don't control. And so I would say that particular element of it has come through in a big, big, big way. The third thing that Voice 2.0 manifesto talked about was how developers were going to be more creative in that environment. How instead of building software for traditional IN models, you would start to use web models. You would start to be able to attach those to telecom equipment. You'd start to be able to deploy that in the network. And you'd be able to create all kinds of new services using these very advanced and very quick to deploy tools. And again, that one took a little bit longer to come true, but I think we are there today. A good example is my own company's product, Cauliflower. It's a conference calling service that we built in 12 weeks start to finish, start at the initial launch. And that was largely because of the fact that you could marry traditional web technologies. Ruby on Rails was the framework that we used up to a telco switch. And that was impossible even 4 years ago, even 5 years ago. About 3.5 years ago, when we first started looking at it, it was just becoming possible, and it's even easier today than it was when we did it.
So, James, how does this impact this so-called 2.0 culture impact the carriers and the operators? And you guys deal with the carriers and the operators all the time.
Right. So, I think this kind of thing certainly probably came as a terrific shock to the traditional carriers, say 4 years ago, as some of these predictions were being laid out there. And the carriers saying, well, wait a second, I've got this triple play, it's great, and I'm going to make all kinds of money doing this, and I'd like to do this forever. Is this okay? And I think the answer now is becoming, no, that's going to work for you for a while, but you're going to have to come up with other types of business models. So in